Hey everybody, Dwayne Blair with the NSDA. I hope everyone's doing well. We've had a couple requests to kind of dive into tryouts and looking at tryouts. I know some players and teams have tryouts in the spring, so kind of after their winter season, fall season, winter, they have tryouts right away. And then some players have tryouts in the fall. Regardless of when that is, I think there's a lot of stress on the coaches, let alone the parents and the players. I think it's a stressful time for everybody. And today I wanted to talk to the coaches a little bit about just how to make that experience more enjoyable for us as coaches, number one, and then also making that experience a little bit better for the players and the parents. I'm going to try to keep this very, very simple so we can definitely have gone in the weeds on a bunch of different areas. But the three areas I wanted to touch on real quick is just the pre-ice. So before you get to the rink or before you get on the ice, what are some things you got to focus on that you're looking at? The on ice piece, which is going to be that practice, games, drills, evaluation, all that kind of stuff of what you want to see players doing on the ice. And then the third one's going to be that evaluation piece of actually evaluating the players. And we'll have resources on all this stuff. You can link to it through the video and in the bio, but you'll be able to see some practice plans, some drills. I'll drop some drills today quickly, but we'll have practice plans in there. We'll have a checklist for before practice so that pre-ice we'll have a checklist. The on-ice will have practice plans, and then the evaluation will actually have an evaluation sheet. Just to give you some ideas of certain things to focus on as you're going through that trial process. If we dive in a little bit here on number one, so that pre-ice, I think it's important. Sometimes you're very familiar as a coach with that age group, so you know most of the players that are trying out. And let's be honest, some teams are already picked before the trial process starts. So sometimes you're just having to try out just to basically have players on the ice, maybe see if there's one or two that surprise you and that maybe earn a spot. But for the most part, if you're running a house league or an A or a B, you're still looking at new players, trying to get new players there. So kind of taking a look, number one, at that list of players and trying to get familiar with, if you know any players, sometimes it could be a new organization that you're coaching with or a new group of players, but at least have an idea of the number of players you have. And then obviously if you know any of the players on that list. The other thing too, simple things. This again is just a super simple checklist, but I would say obviously getting that registration list from the association, or if you're taking those names in. Number two would be getting jerseys or pennies. And most times the organization will give you those pennies or those jerseys to separate your colors. And if you're lucky, they'll have numbers on them so you can associate numbers with the players on that registration sheet so that when you hand out the jerseys, you know exactly what number these players are. And then simple things, obviously, just make sure that you're aware of this. I know we all have jobs, we're working, we have other children, but just having our pucks, our pylons, our coaches board, whistles, all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing too is having helpers. So making sure that you've got maybe some midget players, some older players that are coming out to help you out, right? Some U18 players, or you've got other coaches that are going to be able to be out there, or some dads even. Just the more hands on deck, sometimes that's helpful for when you're running that tryout or that on-ice session.